did not set myself up for anything good whatsoever today. It hurts quite a bit. I got 6 hours of sleep. My sleep schedule's been chasing its tail. If you're wondering how I got 6 hours of sleep, it's not because of anything, I guess it's nothing abnormal, but nothing regular. Typical. Up doing this, up doing that, and closer. And that has something to do with this, because when I woke up, I looked and checked my messages, and my mom asked me for $20. And I feel like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2, right? Exactly like him, because I just think about how he's trying to tell Mr. Dickovich, this is all I got for the next 2 weeks, this $20 bill. And that's exactly how I feel, because my mom asked for $20, and I already knew that was I was about to go back to sleep. But I woke up a little too close to my shift, I also told myself, maybe halfway through the night or something like that, or maybe before or whatever, that I would spend some time with my brother. And I really do want to spend time with my brother around right now, and earlier, right? But at the moment it's 2:21, right? And it's okay, and I got that 6 hours, so it's like, well, if I wanted to spend time with him, why didn't I go to bed earlier? And this is the sleep schedule chasing its tail. The circadian rhythm or whatever is completely misaligned. Completely. Oh my goodness. It's not like I'm a night worker either. I work 3 in the afternoon to like 9 or 10, right? But that's another thing too, though, right? I don't make enough money, and I've been job searching lately, but not really. I've been procrastinating hella. But I'm working with, admittedly, I'm working with, if you can tell, by the shirt, I'm working with fast food under my belt, and I'm 23, right? And so I got a bit of a fast food under my belt now, and part of me feels just a wee bit still ashamed of that, a little bit. Another part of me, is trying to reinterpret that into a more positive thing, and I think that is a good thing, and trying to see good in it and all that. But I've been procrastinating for a reason, and so that kind of came up, and the intersection of that, right? Because when my mom asked me for $20, for one, I knew that I probably didn't have it. I have a physical savings, and then I have a digital savings, and then I have a regular, like a checking account, and I have a credit card. And let's just say that I got myself into a situation with the finance car, and I can barely afford it. I can barely, just on the very edge. I thought I had to do what I had to do then. I guess I didn't. It's hard to get out of. I'm not sure if I even can. I'm probably just going to attempt to pay it off. It's not too bad, but it's getting bad. More than anything, though, my credit card debt is ridiculous. And it's starting to cross lines. And, my mom asked me for $20, and I went to my savings, and of course I have to go to my physical savings. There's $3 in my digital savings. Then there's, I'm in the deep negative in my checking, and I'm already taking the gigantic L. And then I check my cash advance app, and I notice that my advance is going to kick in the day after another bill is going to kick in on very soon, and it's like, when that bill, I can't even afford a bill which is coming up very soon, and I'm just going to have to rely on, I don't know what, whoops, my bad, but I'm going to have to rely on, I don't know what, God's grace, something, I don't know, and then after that, literally the day after, right, then there's more, and I can't afford that either. I put myself in quite a position through the holidays, and I would honestly do it again. But, let's keep doing that. But I would honestly do it again. I would do it again. just financial. It's more existential than anything. If only it were about money, right? And I think about, some things that, like, along with dicey territory. Oh my goodness. Over, just go. Alright, traffic just got complicated. Sorry. But, but yeah, if only it were just financial. More often than not. I've been fighting the disassociating. I've been fighting typical addictions, and I say that I'm beating around the bush, but PMO, you know. And so, long story short, I didn't set myself up very well. Now, one could say, well, just set yourself up better tomorrow. And there's a part of me that believes in that message too. Part of me hears the good news, but a part of me hears the bad news, which is that, well, and these are voices I ought to learn how to not listen to, but, the bad news is, chances are, in fact, more likely than not, I'm going to end up in the same position. And that's a hard thing, a hard pill to swallow. So it's like, as I'm walking out my front door, I'm like covering the trail of the stuff I did last night that I knew I shouldn't have done. And then, as I'm going out the door, I don't have time to check the mail. I don't have time to get a little walk or stretch in. I barely had time to take a morning shit. And, and morning though, right? It's like 2 or something in the afternoon, or like it was like 1:50, 1:55 or whatever, right? So I barely got, I got up at like the last second, went to bed at like the last second, and drained all of my dopamine before bed, woke up on nothing, needing caffeine, and I gotta, and then like one of the cherries on top, or maybe some of the frosting, was, then I get, as I'm like getting ready, I realize and I remember, oh, that's right, I didn't get gas, and I left gas for myself for another day because I was trying to help myself out or whatever, and set myself up for, well, not disaster, as is right now, but I was trying to set myself up for success, right? It was like, oh, well, if I don't get gas now, then I'll have something to do later, and then I'll have to go or leave early or whatever. Honestly, a stupid idea in retrospect. I should have just done it while I had the chance, because now I'm in the position of like even more time which I have to spend, and less time which I'm probably even gonna get with my brother. It's now 2:30, and the chance I work at 3. I mean, yeah, I just work down the street from where my brothers are, but it's just I made a sacrifice, and that was kind of the hard part. That really hurt. Started shedding some tears, right before turning this phone on, right? Because it's just like, man, it's all my fault. And that's the reality. My sleep schedule, it's like just chasing my tail. And the money situation, my job, I cannot afford the situation I'm in. I need a different job. I need to be somewhere else. I can barely afford anything I'm doing. The next amount of money, I can't afford this bill that's coming up, which is my credit card bill, and I can't, I'm paying the least in my household of my roommates, and I'm living on so much grace, it's ridiculous. And I would like to not, I would like to be more self-sufficient. I would like, maybe I understand that certain things ought to not end up in your hands because they're not necessarily good for you. If I randomly got $10 million today, it wouldn't necessarily be advantageous, in some ways it would be, but in many more ways it would be a living nightmare. And so, like, I can handle big sums of money. I can barely handle $100, let alone 1,000, let alone the dumb 10 million in my bank account. And so I keep running into these walls and barriers, realizing maybe a little bit too late that I'm getting myself involved in things I shouldn't be getting myself involved in, and I only make these decisions because I feel like I have to, and then I figure out in retrospect that I had options. And that hurts, and that's a pill that I don't know how to swallow. I really don't. I'm trying to learn, and I'm getting better at it, but it's just damage is damage, pain. Hurt is hurt. The reality is that I keep doing this to myself. I keep chasing my tail. I'm the one who's chasing it, and I don't know how to stop. I really don't. And I guess I'm really just bringing this up not to self-pity, but I don't know why. I'm just hoping, that this shared experience is worth something to someone. I never feel like I have enough time. I'm always chasing my tail. Never feels like I'm enough. I know none of these things are necessarily true, but today is one of those days where it's really hard to believe that, It's really hard to keep the faith and to keep running and to keep going. And sometimes, at least in my case, I hear that and I wonder towards what? Persevere towards what? Run towards what? Trip and fall and trip and fall towards, and in what direction, up, I guess, and so I'm trying to do that, uphill, not downhill, not a downward spiral, but that's been the harder thing, man, preventing downward spirals, my God, fallout, 3 steps forward, at least 5 steps back, and that really, really hurts. That really, really hurts. And trying to be better seems like just that, trying. And so I've been trying to hammer down a little bit more, ironically, being better. Not just faith, but action. Not just, hope, but deeds. I'm trying to get that down. But anyways, I hope this helps someone. I need to get going.